You're watching KOMO News.
Any shooting like this is senseless. I think it's magnified for an event like this.
Breaking now at 5, a mass shooting investigation underway in Seattle. 3 people are dead and 4 are injured after a gunfire erupts during a crowded food festival at Seattle Center. Police saying overnight 1 suspect is in custody and could make their first court appearance today. A live look to bring you of Seattle Center this morning. A large police presence remains nearly 12 hours after that shooting. Food still left behind at the stands there after a large evacuation of vendors and festival goers. And we have KOMO team coverage all morning. Steve McCarron is at the Seattle Center with new details on the manhunt for a second suspect. Natalie Fahmy standing by at Harborview Medical Center with the victim's conditions. All right, good Monday morning to you. I'm Patrick Hushton. Meteorologist George Waldenberger is tracking your forecast. But first, we begin with live team coverage of that breaking news out of Seattle Center. 3 people are dead and 4 are hurt after that mass shooting during a hugely popular Bite of Seattle event. 1 suspect is now in custody. And we begin with live team coverage with KOMO's Steve McCarron live at Seattle Center. Steve, we mentioned the evacuation of the vendors and the festival goers. An eerie scene remains this morning.
It really is. We've been walking around the grounds just in the past half hour to sort of get a different look at what's left behind here. And yes, there's a security guard that's sort of manning the front entrance area to Seattle Center. We've also noticed some vendors are packing up some of their belongings that were simply just left behind in the chaos of everything that happened last night. Even some food still on the grills here and some of the vendors that are still set up. One of the many questions we're asking this morning is why it took so long to hear from investigators after the shooting happened. There was a press conference with police, the mayor, several political leaders that didn't start until just before 11 o'clock last night, more than 4 hours after those initial shots were fired.
Seattle police say the bullets started flying just after 6 o'clock Sunday night. Video from a vendor at the Bite of Seattle captured the moments frantic bystanders started running away from the scene just north of the Seattle Center Armory as officers run past them toward the area where the shots were fired. You hear yelling and screams, some witnesses holding others on their hips as they try to get to safety.
I'm sorry that we're having to gather here tonight under these tragic circumstances. What happened here today at the Seattle Center was an unbelievable tragedy.
This video taken a further distance away as the crowd left Seattle Center. This morning, police say 2 people exchanged gunshots, hitting 7 others, including a toddler.
I heard a couple pops, but I didn't think it was anything big until I saw people running. I saw families, kids, everyone just like running out of the fair.
2 people died at the scene. A third lost their life at Harborview Medical Center. Officers quickly arrested 1 person.
This is a tragedy. I'm really sorry that this happened. The Bite of Seattle is a very positive event. We haven't had any issue in recent years. And, thankfully we had officers on the scene that were brave, went to those shots, and prevented more victims from being injured.
We know officers took 1 man into custody and took him down to police headquarters to be interviewed about what happened. Investigators, with the help of the FBI, are now pursuing leads to try to identify any others who may have been involved.
One of the other big questions this morning is a possible motive. That's certainly something that detectives will be looking at throughout the day today. We mentioned that person that was taken into custody, that man. It's possible that person may appear in court later today. There might be 1 other person that police are still looking for, possibly more. So we're trying to get a confirmed number of how many suspects were involved here. In terms of some of the businesses that are here on the Seattle Center grounds, we know the Pacific Science Center, which is just feet away from here, is going to be closed today. And the monorail will reopen its service starting at 7:30 this morning. Now for the latest on the victims from this horrific act of violence, let's turn to my colleague, Natalie Fahmy, who's live outside Harborview Medical Center in Seattle.
Steve, before we go to Natalie, we do want to mention there was a press conference last night just before 11 p.m. The shooting happened just after 6 p.m., as you mentioned there. So you mentioned how long it took to hear from police and the mayor after the shooting happened. Any idea why it took so long?
Well, that's one of the questions that we're asking. Our Jeremy Harris was out here live last night and was posting some updates on X and was essentially told by a Seattle police spokesperson that they were waiting for some dignitaries to arrive before that press conference could begin just before 11 o'clock. In terms of who exactly those dignitaries were is unknown, but we know that the governor was here and also Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal as well. And again, that press conference started just before 11 o'clock, more than several hours after those shots were fired. Back to you. Now let's turn to my colleague Natalie Fahmy, who's live outside of Harborview. Natalie?
Yeah, Stephen, this morning you can also feel the heaviness here at Harborview Medical Center. Just knowing what happened here, 3 people currently in the hospital in what's described to be satisfactory condition that does include a 2-year-old boy. 1 person declined to be transported to the hospital with minor injuries at the scene. Like you said, we know 2 people died at the scene, 1 person here at Harborview Medical Center as well.
At the time, it's just like, just run, like literally just run. That's literally on your mind.
A sea of people all trying to run to safety after they heard what some witnesses say were at least 24 gunshots being fired, some of them being taken up to the top of the Space Needle for safety for about 2 hours, and later learning that 3 people died, 4 others injured.
It's insane. Like, it's just, I've never been a part of something like this, and it's not heartbreaking. I don't, that's crazy. I got no words for that. Like, it hurts. Yeah, it does.
4 people, including a 2-year-old boy, were taken to Harborview. 1 person died at the medical center. As of last night, Harborview officials tell us 3 people are in satisfactory condition, including a 39-year-old woman, a 23-year-old man, and the 2-year-old. Hospital officials say their injuries involve gunshot wounds to the leg, abdomen, and arm.
We're always ready because we're the level 1 trauma center, so if something like this happens, an unfortunate shooting, then we deliver, and that's what we did this evening.
Everyone's saying this is never where they imagined their day going at the Bite of Seattle.
It was supposed to be a good day. You know, last year we came, it was a total blast, but it was such a different experience.
Again, at last check, we know 3 people remain at Harborview Medical Center this morning being treated for their injuries. We did reach back out to the hospital for any updates on the victims who are at the hospital this morning. We'll bring you that as soon as we hear back. Live at Harborview Medical Center, I'm Natalie Fahmy, KOMO News.
Natalie, thank you. Witnesses after witness described to us the chaotic scene at Seattle Center as gunfire erupted and people went from enjoying the food and the fun to running for their lives.
We were just, walking and looking for stuff to eat, and we just see a bunch of people just swarming through, and everyone's saying mass shooting. Not mass shooting, but like run, like someone's shooting, active shooter, and all we did was just follow the crowd. And we ended up here at the Space Needle, where we were trapped for 2 hours.
I want to try to buy the Seattle because I've never been to just now, and then like for the first experience, I'm probably not coming back.
Organizers of the Bite of Seattle say the event drew more than 300,000 people for a weekend of food and entertainment. One of the reasons the city gave for the 5-hour time gap between the shooting and the press conference last night was that they were waiting for special delegates to arrive, or dignitaries. Now, among those in attendance when things got going was Governor Bob Ferguson, who had this to say.
I can't imagine being the parent of a 2-year-old toddler, for example, who's injured in a shooting like this, but for everybody who's impacted, our hearts go out to them.
I know it was traumatic for everyone who was here, and it's such an incredible festival. I know it means a lot to our community, and so I'm sorry, our prayers, our hearts are with all those who were affected by tonight, and just know that all of us are working very hard to make sure we get to the bottom of this.
Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal there, who you just saw, says the FBI is aware of the mass shooting and is coordinating with Seattle police. Again, police say there's no danger to the public, despite a second suspected shooter still being on the run. A live look at the Space Needle. The iconic landmark lowered its flag to half staff last night because of the deadly shooting. We're being told people running from the shooting fled into the Space Needle lobby, and that building was placed on lockdown, as you just heard from one of the folks we just spoke to a moment ago. After a few hours, it was evacuated by Seattle police. The Pacific Science Center at the Seattle Center says it'll remain closed today. Officials say all shows and general admission for the day are canceled, but guests with tickets will be automatically refunded. No word yet on if the center will reopen tomorrow. Stay with KOMO News as we track the new details of the mass shooting. We'll have updates on the air and online on KOMOnews.com. And we've got meteorologist George Waldenberger back with us here on another Monday of, quiet weather. It's quite quiet out there.
So this weekend was actually quite interesting, okay? In Seattle, it was a little cool, cloudy, raindrop here or there, not a big deal. But it rained a lot at Forks. It rained a lot in Quileute. We had record rainfall yesterday. Look at that rainfall, almost 2 inches in the last 48 hours. around their Cape Flattery, La Push areas. Meanwhile, you go just a little bit farther east, so much less rain. A little showery Friday, Harbor Bellingham. All in all, not a terrible weekend for Seattle, and it was a little on the cool side with 1/100th of an inch of rain. Our rain update then, so far, we're just still under a ½ inch of rain, which is pretty close to the July average as far as total. Number of days with measurable rain, only 3. That average, by the way, is 5 days. July is typically our driest month of the year, but each year is different and those fluctuations are normal. For today, the rain mainly around Forks toward Claylock Lodge this morning, and there it'll be light. It'll be dry in Seattle. Tomorrow's a little different. We have more rain from Forks to Aberdeen in the morning. It's dry tomorrow morning in Seattle. In the afternoon, we may have some spotty rain here and there. That should be it. We'll be dry the rest of the week. Painfield and Everett out the door, we're in the upper 50s, low 60s. Bothell at 60 degrees. Right now, 55 in Squim. There is some morning cloud cover. This clears. You probably want the hoodie or the light jacket most of the morning. The afternoon, though, around Everett, Tacoma, Bellevue, it's going to be nice. T-shirt weather with sun glasses as well. A lot of sunshine here, near 80 in Tacoma today. Just realize it's going to be cooler along the coast. East of the Cascades, we're talking about 90-degree weather. I'm going to talk about that smoke outlook for areas around Chelan coming up. But we have a low that's going to pass to the north. That's what makes things just a little more unsettled for the next 36 hours. You can see it passing to the north. Not a lot of rain tomorrow makes it to Seattle. The rest of the week looks great. We also have to watch this next low this upcoming weekend for Seafair. I'll talk about how that impacts the forecast as well outside on the KOMO weather deck. All right, Patrick?
All right, thank you, George. It's 5:11 now. A daring leap from one of Seattle's most iconic attractions, all caught on camera. All right, as you saw, 2 base jumpers quickly climb the glass on the Space Needle's observation deck, doing a backflip off the edge. Coming up, new reaction from witnesses and what police say these 2 base jumpers could face if found. Plus, dramatic video shows a Bellevue driver plowing into a line of cars in the downtown area there. Coming up, what we know about the suspect behind the wheel. And here's another look at all of our KOMO and ARC coverage of the mass shooting at Seattle Center last night. Stay with ARC and KOMO all day for the most up-to-the-minute coverage as we try to answer a series of troubling questions about how all of this could have happened in the first place. Stay with us. Welcome back. Breaking now, a live look at Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. We know 4 people are recovering from injuries from a mass shooting at the Seattle Center overnight, and 3 people were killed in that shooting. Police tell us it all stemmed from a shootout between 2 suspects. One suspect is in custody. Another is still on the run, according to officials. KOMO's Steve McCarron and Natalie Fahmy will join us live at 5:30 to continue our team coverage there. We're also tracking new developments in the war with Iran. It appears there's been a pause in fighting as diplomatic efforts intensify. Iran's foreign ministry is calling weekend talks with U.S. officials, quote, fruitful. But U.S. Ambassador Mike Waltz says there's still a lot of work to be done. The pause comes as the New York Times is reporting President Trump scrapped some plans to escalate the war because of the Pentagon's diminished supply of Patriot anti-missile interceptors. The White House is pushing back on those claims.
I want to be crystal clear. The U.S. military, and I've verified this every which way, has everything that it needs to conduct this campaign as effectively as it needs to be. And I have to tell you, the people that are leaking this nonsense deserve to be in jail.
The pause leading oil prices to dip over the weekend. Nationwide gas prices continue to hold steady at $4.11 today after increasing 10 cents last week. Our statewide, $1 higher than the national average at $5.11 a gallon, also down 10 cents from a week ago. Diesel prices in our state at $6.10 a gallon. Our prices are already much higher than the national average due to our state's high gas taxes and fees passed on from the Climate Commitment Act. Today, a man could make his first court appearance after police say he killed a man during a graduation party. Kent police say an argument led to gunshots around 11:15 p.m. Saturday at a home on East Cherry Hill Street. Police say a 40-year-old man pulled out a gun and shot a 41-year-old man several times, killing him. Family members restrained the suspect until officers got there. Police are still investigating what led up to the shots being fired there. A driver is facing vehicular assault charges after a string of crashes in downtown Seattle, or downtown Bellevue, rather. A video showing the driver speeding along 8th Street before slamming into several cars at the intersection of 110th Avenue North and 8th Street. Now, this happened just before 10 p.m. Saturday. There were no major injuries. The 25-year-old driver has been booked into the King County Jail. Bellevue police say that they were conducting emphasis patrols on vehicles with modified exhausts when the crash happened. Police were notified of a car with a loud muffler near 108th Avenue, but they weren't able to find it, they say. They later learned that that was the car involved in that crash. A viral stunt off the Space Needle in Seattle, all caught on cameras, and dozens of stunned visitors looking on at the time. Now, Jacob Gyro capturing this moment as he and his friend were in line at the bathroom. The two base jumpers quickly heading outside and climbing the glass, as you see here, and doing a backflip off the Space Needle. Now, it's unclear where exactly the two landed, but video did capture part of their descent back down to the ground.
The first 2 seconds, I was scared, like I thought they were doing something bad. So I got a really big surge of adrenaline. And then as soon as I saw the parachute, 2 seconds, I was like, oh my God, they're going to jump off.
Definitely safety, because like you are jumping from the Space Needle, and I just think about how high up we are, but obviously they had to like think it through.
Security called police, and representatives for the Space Needle say that they're reviewing their security footage as police investigate the illegal stunt. Police say the two base jumpers entered the Space Needle with 2 purchased tickets, which were scanned at the front entrance and were later seen on surveillance video on the top level, possibly scouting the area. Officers were not able to locate those 2 base jumpers, though they are now wanted for criminal trespass. The Kaiser Canyon wildfire continues to grow near the Colville Reservation in Okanagan County. It's burned more than 121,000 acres at this point. Level 3 or go now evacuation orders have expanded along the Highway 21 corridor and remain in place along Highway 155 near Summit Lake Road, the Jackson Ranch area, and the border of Ferry County. Now, the Colville tribe says strong winds have caused containment of the fire to drop from 13% to 9%, so they've lost a little ground. A shelter is available for evacuees at the Nespelem School. Now to meteorologist George Waldenberger with our weather right now. He's out on the weather deck. You've got your jacket on. Somewhat cooler out there. Is Acorn working? Oh, he's not working right now. He's not gathering any rain.
So Acorn is my rain reading squirrel. He holds a rain gauge, and the rain gauge is very much empty. Even though we did have 1/100th of an inch of rain yesterday at SeaTac Airport, it is slightly damp on the table on which Acorn rests, though. Let's get you out the door. You can see I have a jacket on. I'll likely use the jacket much of the morning. With cloud cover, that will keep the temperatures cool for the next few hours at least. Before the lunch hour, though, it's going to start to feel warm, and this afternoon will be lovely. So we go from 61 in Tacoma to near 80 this afternoon. Just realize Forks, Aberdeen, maybe just a little more showery and cooler this morning, much like this past weekend. Okay, hour by hour, the afternoon looks great. A lot of sunshine. Have your sunglasses. In some areas from Issaquah to Sammamish, North Bend, Preston, all the way down toward Maple Valley, Enumclaw, Eatonville may actually hit 80 degrees today. Whereas if you're in Kitsap County, you'll be in the upper 70s in Bremerton and Edmonds at 77. Nothing wrong with this weather today. Friday Harbor, Anacortes, Oak Harbor, upper 60s, low 70s. But between Forks and Claylock Lodge, Ocean Shores, Gray Harbor, some spotty raindrops here and there. Castle Rock near 80 degrees. East of the Cascades, not as hot as last week, but still 90 in Wenatchee. And this is where air quality alerts continue. Right now I have seen some improvement around Twisp and Winthrop and Chelan. I'm sorry, Twisp and Winthrop and Wenatchee as far as air quality, but Chelan over toward Colville Reservation is still very smoky, and that will continue downwind of wildfires. Meanwhile, nice in Seattle, and then you can see that band of showers is mainly going to stay west of Seattle today. As we zoom out, we actually have 2 hurricanes in the Pacific. One is actually going to skirt just north of Hawaii. That's Hurricane Fausto. And then we have Genevieve, which is a major hurricane that should also stay well off the coast of North America. So taking you day by day in Seattle, we're in between the heat dome and those cooler storm systems coming in from Alaska, and our temperatures are actually very comfortable. A little on the cool side here, and then by Friday back to 82. That'll be our warmest day. This upcoming weekend, we're back down to the low to mid 70s for Seafair weekend, so realize it will be cool for your celebrations. Right now, I'm going with a dry forecast, but I pointed out an upper low that is making our weather a little unsettled over the next 36 hours. This will bring us a chance for a few showers toward the end of the day in Seattle tomorrow. Not much, spotty if any. We'll see another low like that develop offshore for the weekend. We have to watch to see if that gets a little closer. If so, then it could bring some showers as well, kind of like last weekend, but that's something we'll have to keep our eyes on. So for now, our rain reading squirrel may catch a raindrop here and there. Otherwise, our quiet weather with pleasant temperatures continues onward. Patrick?
All right, thank you, George. All in all, looks to be a pretty decent week ahead. All right, let's take a quick look at the traffic. This is I-5 at Albro Place. Things moving along nicely as people work their way toward the Emerald City and away. No holdups there. Over on the maps, WashDOT not reporting any incidents, but we do want to mention Enchanted Parkway has reopened now between Milton Road South and 28th Avenue South. Crews successfully installed a 25-foot wide culvert across the highway there during the weekend closure, but it is now open going in both directions. All right, your time is now 5:23. A viral sensation and possibly the most famous raccoon in the world. Coming up, how Jimothy is being officially recognized by its hometown of Seattle. Breaking now, a live look at the Seattle Center this morning. Just into the newsroom, the Youth Peace and Justice Foundation, formerly known as the Uvalde Foundation for Kids, announced a reward of up to $5,000 for information leading up to the identification and arrest of a second suspect connected to Sunday night's deadly shooting there at the Bite of Seattle Festival. The suspect accused in killing 3 people and hurting 4 others. We'll continue our KOMO team coverage at 5:30. And just a reminder, we have complete breaking news, weather, and traffic all scrolling there at the bottom of your screen. We'll be right back in just a moment. Sensation and possibly the most famous raccoon in the world. And now Jimothy has been officially recognized by the hometown of Seattle. All right, yesterday, crowds gathered in Ballard to celebrate the raccoon with short spine syndrome that's captured the hearts of people all over the country and the world, really. Seattle City Council members Alexis Mercedes Rink and Dan Strauss hosted an official proclamation designating 2026 as Jimothy Summer.
And whereas no trash left on the streets, porch, or alleyway will be safe from the midnight munching within Seattle, so long as Jimothy continues the hard work to lay their paws on any food scraps or cat food left unattended.
In addition to the proclamation, there was also a Jimothy artwork competition, as you see here, featuring paintings, stuffed animals, and we even spotted a Jimothy piñata. There it is. All right, your time is now 5:26. We are continuing our breaking news coverage on the deadly mass shooting at Seattle Center. Overnight, Seattle police revealing 3 people are dead, 4 are injured after that shootout between 2 suspects during a crowded food festival. 1 suspect is in custody. A manhunt continues for the other, and we have team coverage. KOMO's Steve McCarron and Natalie Fahmy join us live at 5:30 with the newest details in this investigation. Breaking now at 5:30, a manhunt continues for a second suspect police say was involved in a mass shooting at Seattle Center. Police say 3 people were killed and 4 others hurt after that shootout in the middle of a crowded food festival. We have KOMO team coverage this morning. Steve McCarron is at the Seattle Center live this morning with more on the manhunt and the first arrest overnight. And Natalie Fahmy is live at Harborview Medical Center with the latest on the updates on the conditions of the victims there. So good morning to you. I'm Patrick Hushin. Meteorologist George Waldenberger is tracking your forecast. But first, again, we begin with our team coverage on breaking news at the Seattle Center. That mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle, leaving 3 people dead, 4 hurt. 1 young person is in custody. Another possible shooter on the run. Let's get right to KOMO's Steve McCarron live at Seattle Center. Steve, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? What's the latest there?
Well, Patrick, just in the past 30 minutes or so, we heard from a security guard on the grounds of Seattle Center here that the grounds are currently closed, only open to vendors who are likely coming back to look at some of their booths that have been set up and certainly some of the belongings that they left behind in the chaos of this that unfolded last night. Also seeing a little bit of police tape up as well, and a number of guards walking around the grounds here just to make sure that people who are not supposed to be on the grounds this morning are not here. Let me show you some video. Police Police say the bullets started flying just after 6 o'clock last night. What you're looking at here is video captured from a vendor at the Bite of Seattle. It shows the moments frantic bystanders started running away from the scene. This is just north of the Seattle Center Armory as officers ran past them toward the area where those shots were fired. Police say 2 people exchanged gunshots. There were several gunshots. We know 7 people were hit, including a toddler. A third person, in addition to the 2 people that lost their lives, died at Harborview Medical Center. All the victims were apparently bystanders. So officers quickly arrested one person, took him down to police headquarters to be interviewed. Police told us last night there's one other person they're looking at, possibly more, but they need witness help to track that person down.
We have witnesses. There are witnesses. They're not coming forward. We need people to be brave, to reach out to us. You can do so anonymously. We know that we have people who probably have evidence or have information that they can share with us. So please, come forward. You can call our hotline. It's 206-233-5000. We need information. We need help to solve this crime.
So at this point, little is known about the man who was taken into custody last night. It is possible, according to the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, that that person could appear in court later on today. Back out live here, the acting chief told reporters last night that no cameras that he's aware of were posted in the area where these shots were fired. One of the other big questions this morning is a possible motive. Detectives say they're going to be looking into that throughout the day, try to figure out why these shots were exchanged between at least 2 people last night. We just learned this in the past 30 minutes or so too, Patrick. The Youth Peace and Justice Foundation, which was formerly known as the, we have somebody throwing some debris here at us. It was formerly known as the Uvalde Foundation for Kids, is now offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and identification of at least another suspect here. But we had a bystander here throw some debris here at us. Looks like it was some filled water bottles, but certainly heightened tensions here as a result of what happened last night and the tragedy that unfolded with 3 lives being lost. Patrick, back to you.
All right, Steve, if you're okay to continue real quick, there are quite a few businesses there on the Seattle Center grounds. Do we know how they might be impacted today, if at all?
Yeah, we're looking into that. Still looking to see whether or not the Space Needle will be open today, and also Mopop, but we know that Pacific Science Center will be closed today. The monorail, which is obviously a popular thing to use between Seattle Center and Westlake Park, is going to reopen at 7:30 this morning. Back to you.
All right, KOMO's Natalie Fahmy is live at Harborview Medical Center. Natalie, what do we know so far this morning about the victims there?
Yeah, Patrick, and I'll just kind of recap what we've heard from Steve, too. We know 2 people died at the scene. A third person died after arriving to the hospital last night. 3 people are currently hospitalized in satisfactory condition, and we know 1 woman declined to be transported to the hospital with minor injuries. I will say it is feeling heavy here this morning, even though this is not the scene where it happened. We just know the heaviness of the whole situation.
At the time, it's just like, just run. Like, literally just run. That's literally on your mind.
A swarm of people all trying to run to safety after they heard what some witnesses say were at least 24 gunshots being fired.
It was supposed to be a good day.
4 people, including a 2-year-old boy, were taken to Harborview Medical Center. 1 person died at the medical center. As of last night, Harborview officials tell us the other 3 people are in satisfactory condition, including a 39-year-old woman, a 23-year-old man, and a 2-year-old. Hospital officials say their injuries involve gunshot wounds to the leg, abdomen, and arm.
It's insane. Like, it's just, I've never been a part of something like this, and it's not heartbreaking. I don't, that's crazy. I got no words for that. Like, it hurts. Yeah. It does.
We're always ready because we're the level 1 trauma center. So if something like this happens, an unfortunate shooting, then we deliver, and that's what we did this evening.
And again, 3 people still in the hospital this morning. We did reach back out to Harborview this morning for an update on those victims' conditions, and we'll bring you that update as soon as we hear back. Live at Harborview Medical Center, I'm Natalie Fahmy, KOMO News.
Natalie, thank you. We are hearing from our lawmakers representing our state in Washington, D.C. after that mass shooting last night at Seattle Center. Senator Maria Cantwell posting on X saying, "This is a tragic situation. My heart goes out to the victims, their families, and all of those affected. I'm following developments closely." She also thanked all of the first responders at the Seattle Center, Harborview, and the city of Seattle. King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai also released a statement. He says, "For years, the Bite has been one of Seattle's signature summer traditions. To see violence at a place that brings so many people together is heartbreaking and unacceptable. My heart is with the victims and their loved ones, those who were senselessly injured, Seattle Center employees and vendors, and everyone who has been traumatized by this experience. I'm also grateful for the first responders who rushed in to protect others and care for the injured." It's been over a decade since an event at the Seattle Center fell victim to gun violence like what we saw last night. In May of 2012, a man was injured after being shot in the leg at the Folk Life Festival. Court documents from the time state that the shooter and another person were in a fight when the shooter pulled out a revolver and fired 4 shots. One of those shots hit Ryan Burr, who was walking nearby. Burr would recover in the hospital. That shooter was later arrested. According to Seattle's crime dashboard, yesterday's 3 deaths were the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th deaths by homicide in Seattle this month in July. It was just last month that the city celebrated its first homicide-free June in over a half a century. In all, there's been 15 homicides in the city of Seattle this year, and that's still on pace for the fewest since 2020. Last year set the decade's record low at 32 total. Stay with KOMO News as we track the newest details of this mass shooting. We'll have updates on the air and online on KOMOnews.com. Today, flights are back on at Kenmore Air after Thursday's float plane crash near the San Juan Islands. Kenmore says it completed a comprehensive review of its operations on Saturday. The seaplane went down on Thursday near Sasha Island, and incredibly, all 11 people on board survived and were rescued. In a statement, Kenmore Air CEO and President Aaron Blank says, quote, "Our thoughts remain with the passengers and pilot and families affected by Thursday's accident. We continue to support those involved and are cooperating fully with the NTSB-led investigation." The victims were taken to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle and Peace Health Street Joseph Medical Center in Bellingham. At least 2 of them are still in the hospital this morning. We're told they're in satisfactory condition. No other details have been released.
And the healing journey that those patients will be going on. And that's our main focus right now, is to think about them and remember how they can now continue on with the next phase of their recovery.
Video from the U.S. Coast Guard shows a part of the intense rescue by conducting a hoist near Sasha Island in extremely windy conditions, as you can see here. We'll continue to track the latest on the float plane crash on air and on our website at KOMOnews.com. And George is here. Yeah, George, around 300,000 people are now under evacuation orders in France and Spain as more than 30 wildfires continue to rage out of control there. So now with today's weather, why, George, reports indicate that these fires may have been driven by, well, we've reported on how hot it is in many parts of the world, that these fires were driven by these heat waves.
Yeah, there's actually 4 reasons for this, and we can take some of that video again because it's just devastating. Homes and cars just burned out. 250,000 acres in France burned away. And the first reason for this is actually not unlike what we're experiencing in Western Washington, Eastern Washington rather, where the issues actually started this past winter. And this may sound ironic, but when you get very heavy rains over the winter, which we had in Eastern Washington and here also in France, that promotes a lot of grass and brush growth. And then when you dry out in these heat waves, which is reason number 2, the heat waves, then you have a lot of fuel that's ripe for burning. And we can look at the heat wave. Yes, there is a heat dome here. And that heat dome, which I'll point out later, will be persistent much of the week ahead. France is looking at temperatures that will stay in the 80s and 90s this week. Around Paris and Madrid in Spain will be near 100 degrees each day all the way through the weekend. So with the heat wave and ongoing dry air, we have two more reasons, 3 and 4. The third one is dry pine forests in the area around France. That can really combust, and then also sometimes these thunderstorms can create pyrocumulus clouds. They can generate thunderstorms with that intense heat, and we've seen that in Washington also. Those new thunderstorm clouds can actually generate lightning and can trigger new wildfires. So 4 reasons for all of that.
And George, well, we've been reporting on the Kaiser Canyon fire, that large fire near the town of Nespelem, which is exploding in size and growing. The wildfires around here, any relief on the way?
So the good news is our wildfire risk, the winds on the east side aren't as bad this week. We'll watch them uptick, though, this upcoming weekend, and that could fan the flames even more. But thankfully, the winds have come down this week, and hopefully we can help fight those fires with the natural conditions a little better. Out the door, it is cloudy over Seattle. We have 59 degrees, and air quality in western Washington quite good. Look at our cloud cover here. The next couple of hours, it'll be thick over Seattle. There will be some spotty rain here between Forks and Aberdeen. This afternoon looks sunny and nice. Tomorrow's a little different. It'll be off and on showers much of the day here along the coast, even Port Angeles. Some of those showers toward Bellingham and Friday Harbor by the middle of the day. Now, the amount of rain tomorrow that makes it to Everett, Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia is not a lot, but be ready in the afternoon in case you get a couple raindrops. Otherwise, we'll clear out for the rest of the week, and I'll have that weekend forecast for you coming up in just a bit. All right, Patrick?
All right. Sounds good, George. Got a weather question for George or another member of the forecast team? Just post it on X and tag us at KOMO News or email us at tips@komonews.com. Your time is now 5:42, continuing our breaking news coverage of that mass shooting at Seattle Center.
Anyone have a small child tourniquet size? Small child arm tourniquet.
All right, that was one of the chilling first responder dispatches as they tried to get a handle on the injured at Seattle Center after the shooting last night. That call for a small tourniquet, likely for the 2-year-old boy who was among the victims. KOMO's Steve McCarron joins us live at 5:45 with more on the mass shooting investigation. That breaking news we're following out of Seattle Center. What prompted it? That's the big question this morning after a mass shooting during a hugely popular Bite of Seattle event last night. 3 people are dead. 4 others are hurt. KOMO's Steve McCarron is live near the Seattle Center Armory. And Steve, 1 person is in custody this morning. Is that right?
That is exactly right, and it's possible, according to the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, that person could make their initial appearance in court later on today. Police said last night they're still looking for another person, at least one other person, but they haven't released a description of that person. Here's what the city's acting police chief told reporters last night.
There's one other person that we're looking at so far. There may be more. We're still trying to figure this out. We have a limited amount of witnesses, so one of the things that really could help us out is if people would call our violent hotline, which is 206-233-5000.
So police say the bullets started flying just after 6 o'clock last night, and what you're looking at here is video captured from a vendor at the Bite of Seattle. And it shows those really frantic moments when bystanders, people who were attending this fair, just started running away from the scene near the Seattle Center Armory as officers ran past them in the opposite direction toward the area where the shots were fired. Again, police say 2 people exchanged gunshots, hitting 7 others, including a toddler. 2 people died at the scene. A third lost their life at Harborview Medical Center. Officers quickly arrested 1 person, as we mentioned, took that person down to police headquarters to get questioned. So the acting chief told reporters that he's not aware of any cameras in the actual area here where those shots were fired. One of the other big questions this morning is a possible motive. Detectives will be looking into that throughout the day today. You can see there's some police tape that's been left behind here, but that's no longer up, which means that people can sort of pass through some of these barriers here. But as you look down the thoroughfare there, essentially what security guards are doing is keeping media and other folks off of the grounds here, only allowing some of those vendors to come in and sort of clean up some of their booths that they just had to abandon last night when these shots were fired. We even noticed there's some food on some of the grills still left behind here, so still a lot to clean up after a really, really tragic event. Live here at Seattle Center, Steve McCarron, KOMO News.
All right, Steve, thank you. We'll see you again soon. Stay with the KOMO News Network as we try to track the continuing details, the developing details of this mass shooting. We'll have updates on the air and online on KOMOnews.com. Now on Olympia Watch, in November, voters will decide if they want to repeal the state's new 9.9% income tax on millionaires, and some ballot language is already being questioned. On the ballot, voters will see a public investment impact disclosure statement from the Attorney General's office saying that repealing the tax would decrease funding for public K-12 education, higher education, and human services, primarily health care. But the Washington Policy Center calls the statement, quote, inherently flawed, and points out that the first payments from the tax would not arrive until 2029. They argue that no current school district, college, or healthcare provider has an official appropriation that depends on the tax revenue, aside from 5% to the Fair Start for Kids account. Now, opponents of the repeal argue that without the projected $3.5 billion that the tax is expected to make, the state will be in a detrimental financial spot, trying to fund the sales tax break and other new tax cuts, and will likely mean cuts to those critical programs. So stay tuned there. All right, George is back here at the weather desk, or not the weather desk. This is just the anchor desk. But George,
the desk.
Nonetheless, you're here, so it is the weather desk.
Yes, yes.
And so what's happening with the weather?
Okay, so what we have this weekend, kind of a continuation between today and tomorrow, where a few people get some light rain, others maybe see a sprinkle or stay dry. This is the final week of July. This upcoming weekend, first weekend of August.
Plenty of summer left, George.
Seafair weekend, yes. Do not shortchange me on my August summer, because there is plenty of summer to be had. All right, next 48 hours, slightly unsettled, maybe more like 36 hours. Light rain will mainly be at the coast, and we had record rainfall yesterday at Quileute, 1.5 inches or so, whereas in Seattle we barely had anything. Mostly cloudy skies over Mount Si right now. Those will clear, give them a couple hours. Traveling over Stampede Pass, it's nice and cool at 48 degrees, a little more mild in Ellensburg. So we'll have clear air in Seattle, clean air, I should say, and the coast. We have the continuing issue here from Chelan toward Omak, Keller, Ness, Pelham, Colville Reservation. Very smoky air in this corridor right here, whereas in Wenatchee and also up toward Winthrop, we've had some clean air move in. That onshore flow has made it over the mountains. You can see with ongoing wildfires, there's just going to be this corridor right through Chelan where air quality will be a problem once again through tomorrow. That's where we have ongoing air quality alerts, whereas nice weather today in Seattle, and look at this little band of rain over Forks right now. It's associated with this, an upper low that will track to the north, or actually two hurricanes in the Pacific. One, Fausto, will actually travel on the north side of Hawaii. Meanwhile, we took a little bit closer to home, and we have the heat dome and these cooler lows, and here we are right in the middle. We're stuck in the middle with very comfortable temperatures. Not too hot, not too cold, but we're in that sweet spot. Despite both of these features moving, we're in that sweet spot all week. Once you get a pause in these lows, though, that heat can build right over western Washington. So they actually can be our friend this time of year, even though they may deliver rain as well. Warmest day will be Friday, as the other days are still relatively cool with more of an onshore flow, but then we do clear out for the second half of the week here, looking pretty good. Just realized tomorrow may be just a little unsettled with that wind out of the southwest, maybe a stray shower in Seattle in the afternoon. If you're in La Push, if you're at Claylock Lodge, if you're in Forks, if you're in Port Angeles, I'd be ready for showers both this morning and through the day tomorrow, whereas Seattle's looking mainly dry tomorrow, a couple raindrops later in the day, as I've said. And then we keep things very bright and sunny through this upcoming weekend. We'll have to watch in case Sunday we have to add a couple of raindrops with a similar low offshore. Right now, though, we're looking dry. Time for your morning coffee break.
The KOMO News app keeps you up to date wherever you are with breaking news now, disruptive weather now, traffic alerts now, sports highlights now. Everything that matters to the Northwest right in the KOMO News app. Download right now.
All right, George, you're going to have to explain the physics behind that one, because I just don't get it.
Well, think about it. So the river's empty into Puget Sound, but the tides can fluctuate 15 feet or more. So that means that the level at which these rivers dump out, actually you're starting to get water with the rising tides go back into the mouth of the river. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And in the case of the Snohomish River, you may actually get those tidal signatures. You may actually be able to record them as much as 15 to 20 miles upstream from the mouth of the river.
That's a long way.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of the reasons when we have flooding events during high tide, you start to see that water back up, and that can really exacerbate flooding.
Yeah, powerful stuff. Okay, thank you, George. Your time is now 5:53. Okay, yeah, we could use a little levity this morning. Up next, the world's second most viral animal, after Jimothy, of course, hits a big milestone. We'll explain next. Route between the U.S. and Canada is now open to traffic. The Gordie Howe International Bridge, which sits over the Detroit River and Windsor, Canada, will act as a crucial route for trade, tourism, and jobs. Canada built the bridge for an estimated $6.4 billion. It spans about 1.5 miles and rises at least 151 feet into the air there. Beautiful stuff. According to a recent agreement, Canada will share toll revenue with the U.S. government for 15 years. Happy birthday, Punch, the orphaned Japanese monkey who won hearts with an orangutan plushie, turned 1 year old today, or on Sunday rather. Zookeepers raised Punch by hand after his mother abandoned him shortly after birth. Punch now plays with other monkeys and has received about 2,500 cards from fans worldwide. The Japanese zoo is celebrating his first birthday with a special exhibit featuring messages and videos of his first year of life. Your time is now 5:57. We continue our team coverage of breaking news in the heart of Seattle. 3 people are dead and 4 are hurt after a mass shooting just steps from Climate Pledge Arena.
Any shooting like this is senseless. I think it's magnified for an event like this. And so all of us, our hearts go out to everybody who's impacted by this.
KOMO's Steve McCarron rejoins us in just a moment with the latest on the manhunt for an outstanding suspect. And KOMO's Natalie Fahmy is waiting outside Harborview Medical Center. She'll bring us witness reactions and the conditions of those injured. All right, a live look at Seattle. You see the flag at half-staff due to the deadly shooting that happened last night, just steps from the Space Needle. Remember, we're always on KOMOnews.com, and you can also find us all on these streaming apps. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.